Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and listening and watching us. We are Rumble Pop Live Edition. We're here to fuck shit up. We're here to crush it. We're here to party like it's 1999. Maybe.
No, too soon.
Too soon? Oh.
Too soon, yeah.
Oh.
Too soon.
Yeah.
How can
Oh,
that be?
Yeah, I don't know how that could be.
It's not 20. Well, I guess it's 20. Yeah, I guess it's 25 years. We're good.
I'm pretty sure that if we talk about 1999, we'll be all right, Chris. I
You
think
have to
we'll-
wait till 25. You're gonna wait till 25 years.
Do you really? That's the thing?
Yeah,
I
it's
did not know
25.
that. I did not know that.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Well, now I know. Geez, I feel embarrassed.
Bonnie was like 5 years old in 1999.
Oh God, please don't insult me like that.
You're young.
Yeah, but I wasn't a baby.
Are we sure about that?
Hey, I have earned every single one of my near 41 years, and I'm proud of it.
You know what? That's good.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm not proud of my 40-something years.
You're not?
Why not?
You should
Or-
be proud about 10 of them.
More has to be more has to be accomplished. That's all.
Well, you better hurry the fudge up, dude, before you start getting all kinds of health problems. Chris and I have gone through the gamut here. And,
Yeah. No kidding.
I mean, everybody wishes they've accomplished more, especially in this current economy. But
Yeah,
you know what? Every day that we wake up is an accomplishment. So there you go.
that is true.
God.
Wise words, Miss Bonnie.
Yeah.
Wise words.
Thank you. I have my moment.
Excuse me. Why I throw up?
Wow. She said something very wise. She's right.
I have
She-
my moments, okay? Is every day the best day ever? No, absolutely not. But you
No.
know what? Every day that we wake up and we are breathing air, we're good.
You know, I always say, as long as you're 6 feet above the ground, that's a great start to the day.
Yeah.
That's true. I gotta say
And-
that. Unless you're in misery.
All four of us are very fortunate to have roofs over our heads and, food in our bellies. So
Food in our bellies. Soap.
that's winning right now.
Soap.
Soap. Soap.
Soap.
Oh, by the way, speaking of which, I was at the store briefly today. I wouldn't believe what I saw at this Bonds. They have all the laundry detergent and we call it
It's locked up, isn't it?
the dry sheets that you use for your laundry, all locked up. Like,
Mhm.
what is going on here? Are people stealing that too?
Yep, high theft. You're in a high theft market, sir. They
Yep.
deem those high theft items in high theft markets. In my Target locally, if I need sinus medication, I have to call. I also needed a little camera, a Blink camera from Amazon, and I had to call to get that. And it's really annoying because let me tell you, they're just not waiting around for you to have them come help you. They're doing everything else because that's what corporations do. They bare bones it. So the inconvenience is going to always be on you and never on them.
Hey, you're not kidding.
Yeah, it's awful. It is awful. It's embarrassing, and they should be ashamed. There's tax write-offs for a reason. So go fuck yourselves, corporate America. Sons of
You know
bitches.
what? It's almost like Ron Burgerman from Anchorman.
Ron Burgundy?
He said that.
Ron
Burgundy.
I mean,
Burgundy.
Ron Jeremy's a whole
Oh,
different
you're
thing.
different than Ron
If
Jeremy.
he points and says,
Whale's
go
vagina.
fuck yourself, he's probably going to be part of it. Yeah.
You're probably right.
Kevin. What if when you go home and your mom's like, oh, Kevin, I want to show you through the family album, and like you look back and you're like, Mom, is that Ron Jeremy? And she's like, oh yeah, we dated briefly. Such a nice man. And then it
But
was
never
right
happened.
around. It was right around
States.
when you would have been in sperm in somebody's sack. So what if you found out that like you were a product of Ron Jeremy fornication with your mother?
I highly
Oh,
doubt that,
God.
sir.
Huh?
Highly doubt that, sir.
What
That's
about
a
that?
very, very disturbing thing to say. That's
Hey.
like me saying
Indeed.
it's like me saying that your mother you know, was.
Whoa,
was one
my
of
mom
God-
watches this
was-
show, so you better watch.
Oh, give me a hypocrite here.
Oh, no,
But-
not a
but-
hypocrite. I'm just stating who's a super fan and who's not. Obviously, your mother is not, because she's not ever on here on the live. I've never seen her
Availability.
once.
Availability.
Sorry, never seen her, not
Not
once. So, my mother
That
is a
was
super
not
fan.
nice, sir.
Super fan status.
Bonnie's
Super
mother
fan.
is not available to watch.
My mom doesn't watch. I think
Sorry,
she might
super
have watched a few
fan
minutes one time.
status. My mom. You show her respect.
Always do, you know that.
My
All
mom
right.
would watch it if
Now
she
show,
could.
now show my mama respect.
Here we go. We got some comments real quickly. Yay, Chris is back, says Sammy. Oh, look, it's Donald. Janet goes, yay for 1999. Sammy says, wait, so we should be levitating, Kevin? I don't.
For some of you, yes. For some of you, yes. You need to be levitating.
Janet says, Kevin, what if I'm not 6 feet above the ground, only 5'7"? Question mark.
Now, I know I was being a little too literal because I'm talking about myself, I guess, in that respect. But what I meant is that 6 feet below, you're 6 feet above the ground, or at least close to it. Close enough.
Janet, my parents are not being paid by me to watch. I can guarantee you that. I have no money. I'm not paying anybody shit.
Yes, you do. Yes,
No,
you do.
no, I had money back when like I shared space, but now I have no money. I'm broke all the time.
Why don't you get another roommate then?
No, I'd rather be broke. I think at this point,
Wow.
it's just what it is. I thought about an OnlyFans page, but we'll see.
Do it. Worth it.
It's worth
Bring
it.
back the toe files.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
It's also
The foot
Chippendales.
files.
Foot files, right?
We also do Chippendales.
I'm gonna do a
You want me to Chris
OnlyFans
Farley
page of just like slurping up spaghetti, just long pieces of
Oh,
spaghetti.
yeah. ASMR or AS
Yeah.
Just like
AOL.
nothing else. It's just me sitting at a
ABCD.
table like eating spaghetti. Like,
I mean, apparently that's a whole thing.
DURP, DERP.
but I'm fully clothed, but nothing sexual at all.
Yeah, no,
Hanzo.
that's the thing. People pay for that.
Philippe
I know. I
says,
heard about
People,
that. I
like,
want to do it.
slurping up noodles.
Yeah.
it's true.
It's a whole thing.
There's a lip smacking
Yeah.
lady with long nails, and she eats like shrimp and lobster and stuff, and she smacks her lips all the time.
Oh, I'd pay her not to do that. Oh.
Yeah, she's a lip smacker. Makes up
I
mint.
hate lip smacking so much. Ugh,
Ah, stop it.
stop it. Stop it.
Stop
Frightens,
it.
that frightens you.
Let me just drink my drink here.
Meanwhile, let me do some quick intros. First of all, that man who was smacking, drinking Lord knows what. He's a crazy man from Ohio. He is Bruce Campbell's #2 fan, and he is a man who truly is a man who's able to get the ladies to throw their undergarments at him for some reason. He is the one, the only, Donald, the Dildo Man.
The Dildo Man?
What the hell? What did I come back to? What did you guys
Jesus.
do while I was gone?
Wait, you used to the episode 2 weeks ago where we put a photo of a dildo? Of a dildo?
It was a giant dildo, but there was a reason
Literally
for it.
Flooded the screen.
There was
Yes.
a reason for that big cock. There was a
Yes,
reason.
I remember the dildo. Yes, sadly, I remember the dildo.
Oh God.
Next, we go to a man, an honorable man, a man of many academic accommodations and glory, a man who is a master of teaching the thespian arts, a man who is from that beautiful state of Michigan but resides in that beautiful Lone Star state of Texas, but now is in New York trying to advise the failing Biden administration. Give it up for Professor Chris D. Turr!
Wow.
If you count
Welcome back,
11-year-old campers as that, okay, sure.
Sure. Why not?
Welcome, thank you. Glad to be back, everybody.
And last, but certainly not least, a fine young lady from that beautiful Grand Canyon state of Arizona. She practices the deadly arts of Cobra Kai. If you cross this young lady, She will give you a contusion. She will break your arm and your legs. And she's also an excellent Polynesian dancer. Give it up for the Bonnie Tuttle.
Thank you.
There we go. Yay. Yay.
Of course.
Almost have to throat punch some people this weekend.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there you go. And of course, I'm your humble podcaster, the Grand Master of the Jedi and Vulcan Arts, your Supreme Chancellor, Brother Kevin. Tonight, we're going to have fun. We're going to party like it's 1999. We're going to discuss pop culture events from that interesting year of the 20th century.
Let's go. Let's effing go.
It's a crazy year, man. I forgot how much stuff happened there.
Oh my
A lot
god.
of crazy, good and
A lot
bad.
of
Good and
I
bad.
think I don't think my parents are on yet. I think I lost my virginity in 99.
I was just going to
What?
say the same thing.
Yeah.
Hold on a second, you're too young to have done
Yeah,
such things
was it
in
Chris?
1999.
It wasn't with each other. Let's be clear. It wasn't. Chris and I were not together.
Hold on a second. 1999, you were too young to do such wicked activities, sir.
19 or 20. I think I'm 19.
How's that possible?
How's it not? That's like really late for people in my area of town, like in my hometown, like
What, sir?
small town Ohio.
What?
If you weren't balls deep by 14,
I mean-
you were doing something wrong.
I think
What?
in
Yeah.
general, that's actually a little above
Mhm.
average
Mhm.
for most males in general, right?
I think. I want to say yes, but I don't know, like all of America or the world, I guess, if you factor that in. Who knows?
No, like just America. I think the average
Hmm.
American male is a little bit younger.
Hey, Gray. Good to see you, buddy. Gray's here, guys.
Brother Gray.
Sammy says I'm pure evil, and Enrique doesn't want me to slurp anymore.
See, you're scaring the people with your
I bet.
slurping.
I bet if he was over and it was pickleback I was serving, he wouldn't give a shit if there were slurp noises.
Yeah, he would.
He'd be balls deep in that pickle.
Oh, he would not.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right, Enrique.
Now, Donald, I know that every now and again
Yeah.
you need to
You wait.
pull out something.
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, we're talking about balls deep, so we might as well talk about pulling out. Woo woo! That was great. I love that. I love that little opening and closing there. I've got a few books. Just 3 today. The first one is Godzilla Here There Be Dragons Part 2, Sons of Giants. Now, this is basically telling the story of Godzilla, not so much Godzilla, but people around Godzilla. So it's talking about, like, in feudal Japan, when, when a guy was, like, dying because he'd been kind of squashed by Godzilla. His friend slash, Padawan, so to speak, goes and takes a piece of a meteorite that had fallen and uses it to carve a sword, and in doing so uses that sword to slash Godzilla and actually draw blood, and by doing so he had then honored his teacher and was able to die a glorious death, which is by fire, which is Godzilla. Then we flash forward to, interestingly enough, to 1804 in Hoboken, New Jersey, when it was Aaron Burr and, Alexander Hamilton, and the great duel that happens. And so then a gentleman approaches Burr as a reporter, not to talk to him about what had just happened, because it just took place, and Burr took Hamilton's life. He's talking about a coin that bears the mark of Godzilla. And he starts to tell Burr, and Burr's like, oh yeah, come with me. And then he has him covered and dragged away. So there is a mystery within these pages as to what Aaron Burr knows about Godzilla, what he knows about a secret society that worships Godzilla, and what he knows about these coins and the association with feudal Japan. Quite interesting. I'm going to give it a 7.75. I think it's worth your time. It's a $5 investment. It's IDW. IDW's been cranking out Godzilla books because they need the money, but they're also good. So these are probably some of the highest quality Godzilla stories you're going to be getting out there. So highly recommended if you get a chance. 7.5 on that one.
All right.
Enrique says, as long as I'm drinking too. See, I told you. Fudge, it's this, says Sammy. And Mom says, hi, sorry, was late, was doing dishes, LOL. That's okay, Mom. You didn't miss much. Mr. Sun pulling out, but whatever. Gotcha, man. Number one. What is this actually? What are they called?
Mangas?
Not the Thunderbirds. They're the, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you're talking about the 5...
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. This is the Japanese, I believe, pronunciation of it. So anyway, this is telling the story of the team, and it's telling the story of other teams that are training to possibly replace them should they fall out of favor, mess up, or get killed. And they get in a situation where possibly all of that might happen, and the other team might have to take their place. So it's an interesting enough story, but not interesting enough to really make me go, ooh. I'm going to give it about a 5.5 maybe. Colin Bunn wrote it, so you know how he is. He's very hit or miss. 5.55. So I'd say if you have the extra money, sure, pick it up. Or if you're a big fan of these characters, yes, go ahead. Otherwise, you could skip it. It's fine. And last but not least is Zatanna, Bring Down the House. Zatanna, Bring Down the House. It's been a bit since we've seen a solo Zatanna story. This is by Mariko Tamaki and Javier Rodriguez. With the cover on this one is Jorge Jimenez. That did the cover, which Tracy would be very happy about. This is the story of how when she was little, Zatanna used magic to fuck up a little boy's life, and how now in the future in her Vegas career, where it looks like she's performing downtown Vegas, by the way, things are not going so well, and some of that shit might come back to haunt her. Pretty good story. I'm going to give it about a 6.5. It's worth your time. It's a little on the pricey mark. It's about $6. So if you get a chance, you have the extra scratch, it is definitely worth picking up. And I am intrigued and wondering where that is going to go further. So those are my picks of the week, my stories, my recommendations, and I've just pulled out. Yay!
And Professor Turner, do you want to testify to anything? Do you have any trips you like to discuss, especially since you're in that beautiful Big Apple?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk about an area that I'm kind of currently calling I want to go home. So a couple of hours away from New York City, there's this little area called the Adirondack Mountains. And here in these mountains, there is a small village called Lake George. In Lake George, there is a Walmart. Ooh. There's also a little lake where there's a steamboat that goes on there, and there's some trolleys that go through town. There's also a Six Flags, the smallest Six Flags in all of America. And they have an indoor water park as well. But the best thing about Lake George is people come here just for it. There's a world famous soft serve ice cream place called Martha's. You can get a large, and it's about this big, just the ice cream, but minus the cone.
Oh, no shit.
Wow.
And it's only $6.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And it's the first place outside of Michigan that I've ever seen Blue Moon ice cream, which is, if anybody doesn't know, it's ice cream called Blue Moon. It's blue. The flavor is...
It's not Blue Bunny, it's Blue Moon.
It's called Blue Moon. It's blue ice cream.
Okay.
Nobody knows what the flavor is. But the best way to explain it is it tastes like blue. Like it's blue.
It's done blue itself.
It's blue. But they had it. It was great. I got a nice large. So if you're ever in Lake George, stop at Martha's and get some ice cream from this place. It's world famous. People from all over the world come here. They got merchandise. It's huge. It's pretty big. They have literally, I think, 16 windows to order. That's how big it is.
Wow.
Yeah. So River and Lake George over going through Lake George or Queensbury, where technically where it's at. Stop at Martha's. Then ride a couple roller coasters at Six Flags.
Nice. I kind of want to go there. We used to have a place back home out in Amish country. It was called the Grocery Bag, and it was the same thing. It was very cheap, and you get ice cream. And I remember at the time, my great grandfather was a very slow eater. He was a very thin man, very tall, and he was very thin because he ate so slow. He ate like he talked. Well, hello there, grandson. How are you doing today? So if you asked for a story, you'd ask for an evening in. But you know, it kind of reminded me of that, because I remember we took him one time and he got one of the large cones because he wanted to try it, right? So he got the large cone, and I remember after a little bit looking over and watching him just slowly lick it and looking at the puddle of ice cream that had gone down his arm and was forming underneath him on the sidewalk as he sat there and ate it, and was just doing this, trying not to get it all over his pants, but it was just all down in the elbow crack, everything just dripping down. And I was like, oh my God, Grandpa. And my mom's like, oh, Pops, what are you doing? You know, oh my God, you know, Grandpa. And we went over and cleaned him up a little bit. But yeah, that was a fun day. And it was always an adventure with my great grandfather for sure. God rest his very soul. There we go. But that was a fun time. Fun time with ice cream with great grandpa. Okay, so Kevin's disappeared.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me at least?
We can certainly hear you. We can't see you though.
That's strange. That's weird. Let me see what's going on here.
Yeah, it's gone on both platforms.
Hey, Kevin, try turning your light on.
My light on.
Maybe.
Did you turn the light off? Can we not see because your light's off?
No, I don't think that would pop up that way. It looks like the Skype thing's snowing. I like that, kind of. Like little snowflakes coming out of it. That's kind of cool. Anyway, I digress. We're talking about 1999. We're going to party like it's 1999, everybody.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember 1999? I'm going to start 1999 off. I'm going to start this off because I think it's the most important element of 1999. And once I mention it, you'll know what I'm talking about, 100%. It was, Kevin, you downloaded a GIF again. That is not going to pull up. Okay, great.
What GIF? Cool. GIF for which one?
Okay, I'm not going to talk about it then. Kevin, you go and talk about your thing first, because I can't do anything. This is really annoying.
Aw.
Yeah, should have been GIF. Should have been JPEG. Came out as a GIF. The one
it comes out
very strange.
As not so much a GIF. It comes out something different. It's very interesting. I'll pull it up here in a moment to tell you.
All right.
But let me just get this taken care of first.
Well, if you want to switch over to me, then.
Yes, it will be.
Let's go with somebody who was super popular with the ladies, and I didn't understand it, but I kind of understood it. Let's go to Ricky Martin. Living La Vida Loca.
You didn't understand it, Kevin?
No, I mean I understood it, but I didn't understand. Like it was just absolutely insane. I mean that song was like I think it might have been the song of the year.
Yeah.
The song of the year came a little bit later.
Yeah.
Summer, I'm gonna say. It's
definitely one of them.
Very, very popular song.
It was definitely one of them.
Yes.
Yeah, I voted for it on TRL.
You did?
It was a great video.
Hey, can't lie. He's a good-looking guy. I can see why the ladies, were loving on him and just going crazy.
Hey, did you know he's gay?
Well, now we know. Now we know.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Shocking, right?
I knew back then.
Everybody knew.
People knew.
Everybody knew. Nobody just knew how to say it.
Before a lot of people's gaydars got a little bit more finely tuned,
Right.
Yeah. There were a few that we missed. I admit it.
What
I
a
was
ladies'
surprised
man,
by quite a
though.
few.
Okay, and speaking of Ricky Martin, I went to see Ricky Martin a couple, like 4 weeks ago. I went to see him perform. It's great. He's great. I didn't understand most of what he sang because it's all in Spanish. But then he did sing Livin' La Vida Loci and Shake Your Bon Bon, which were
God, I
great.
hate that song.
Yeah,
That was
they're
the one
great.
song of his that I can't stand to this day. I hate
Oh,
it so much.
It's great,
so
Bonnie.
much.
I shook my bonbon. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I will tell you the reason I hate that song, and if I ever meet him, I'm punching him in the throat for it. And I've said this
Wow.
since 1999.
Wow.
I have videos from high school that can prove it. But yeah, the reason I could not stand that song is
Mhm.
because what is the one nickname that I really dislike that people always try to thrust upon me? Bon Bon.
Really?
Oh, that's true. That makes
Yeah.
sense because
Not-
the way to shorten your
Yeah.
name.
Not
Yeah.
Bonnie
People
We
Always
Lass,
tried to
which
call
is
me
my
Bon
favorite
Bon.
one.
I hate it so much. I've
Yeah.
always disliked it. But hear that song got released and then got really popular made it so worse. And then my friends, as much as I love them, are also, I mean, they're like you guys. So Donald, you would have been in on it if you were in my high school, I guarantee. But my friends, being the people that they were like, shake your bon bon. Hey, there's our bon bon right there.
Oh, so you got
And they
shaken.
grab me and shake me and then pass me around the whole circle, just shaking me
Wow.
That's kind of
Wow.
amazing.
every
That's-
single dance.
I'm sorry that
random
happened
times
to you.
After school, whatever. We're shaking our bon bon. We're shaking our bon bon.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you, Bonnie.
You were probably shaking around like a Muppet.
You see what childhood
They did.
PTSD.
They did.
Yeah.
I love my high school friends dearly. I do. I'm still in touch with quite a few of them, but that's the one thing. I mean, it was all in. I laughed, but I hated it.
I'm sorry, Bonnie. I'm sorry you had to suffer this childhood PTSD being
And
shaking
I tell
shaking
you,
you at the bonbon.
If
Bonbon.
I ever get to meet Ricky Martin, he's getting throat punched for that.
Okay. That's fair. Although I will say he's much more buff, like just bigger. I don't know if he's like buff, but he's full on dad bod mode. Like he's a bigger guy now than he used to be for sure. So I don't know if you probably hit him in the throat.
He
maybe.
was more slender back in the day, sure.
Yeah, definitely.
He's beefed up,
Mm-hmm.
but that's okay. I can just I can make it.
Yeah, Janet, she'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. Yes, it's true. Hector Hernandez says, I was there when my mom found out he was gay. She tried her best to deny it, but you could see her going through the stages of grief. That's funny. Oh, poor mom.
Oh,
She's like, not my Ricky. Oh, Ricky. Yeah, Enrique's surprised. He's like, wait, what? Ricky? Yes, Enrique. Ricky was and still is gay. Sorry. Black Crown EP says, I was a
there's very
carefree
beautiful message, too.
23-year-old living in Santa Barbara in 99. 'Twas a great time in my life. Oh, that's awesome. Black Crown, you're not much older than we are. You know, like 4 years older. So probably what, like 49? I'm going to say, somewhere around there. Mr. Son says, Hector, funny and sadly touching at the same time. Hey, you were there to guide her. My personal reaction, other than indifference, was, now that I look at him. Yeah, that's fair. All right, so now I can go back to what I was going to open up with. I think. We're going to find out. It's going to be an interesting. Okay, there we go. Boom. 1999, baby, the year of Y2K.
Oh,
Yeah.
Y2K. What was Y2K? Well, let me explain
God.
it to you that do not know.
For
So,
those.
Apparently-
There's some fabulous documentaries out right now about Y2K, and it's hilarious watching them now.
Yeah, this is true. There was a programming error, or just the way the programs were set up, that it only allowed for so many digits, so many numerical digits, I believe it was 2, to be put in to the system. So they were worried that when it hit the year 2000, everybody, like all the programs would think it was 1900 and would cease to function. Why that was a thought process, I don't know now. but it was a thought process, and it had everyone scared shitless.
Even with the 4-digit numerical, just the rolling
Yeah.
up from 1992, they thought was just going to break.
Gonna break the
Everything.
internet, break everything.
Civilization was going to end.
I mean, when it
Yeah.
hit, when the ball struck and it turned to the year 2000, I ran down to the bank. Like, literally, there was a bank down the street where I was staying at, and I ran down to the bank to the ATM and just waited for it to pump out all that cash. And nothing. And I did. I'm not even joking. I ran down there, and there was nothing. I didn't get any money. I was so pissed. Like, how big of a disappointment was this? My favorite
It
part
wasn't really disappointing.
is a two-pronged thing. My favorite parts are, one of them is the fact that you had all these doomsday prophesizers that went out and bought bunkers. They loaded up on bottled water and food and stuff. They were just a little too early for the pandemic.
I was going to say, it's kind of like a preview of the pandemic.
Well,
Yeah.
there was also people retroactively trying to go and try to read all the prophecies of Nostradamus, saying that, 1999 is the year where everything's about to go to hell in a handbasket.
And then, and they were talking about billions of dollars were spent preparing for it. Some people fearing the internet would crash civilization. It turned out to be nothing serious. Here we go. This is how they worded this, by the way, this
We weren't
article.
even nearly as dependent on the internet and computers back then as we are now.
Correct,
Mhm.
yeah. This
And
is,
and it's just the thought that we thought everything was going to break over something that wasn't even in every single household yet it's so laughable now.
so it says, while some systems did fail, the problems were minor and were dealt with quickly and easily. These problems, now you just heard me, these minor, quick and easy problems were as follows. Credit card billing issues. Sure. All right, that's fine. Computer faults at nuclear facilities.
Mm.
They hit you with that right away, like the second thing. Credit card issues, credit card billing issues, like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. And then it goes, computer faults at nuclear facilities. Oh, okay, so maybe there was a possible nuclear meltdown that could have happened and was averted that we don't know about it because the government lies, people. The government lies to us. Next.
Donald-
Yes, sir.
Nothing. Finish your list, then I'll ask
Oh,
a question.
it gets worse. Incorrect risk assessments for Down syndrome that led to the abortion of 2 babies in Japan.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
2 children were not
Oh,
allowed to
no.
live because an assessment program said that they had Down syndrome.
Wow. But even if they had Down syndrome, why would you kill them?
But the problems were minor and were dealt with quickly and easily. Yes. Okay. And then a customer being fined over $91,000 for the late return of a videotape. Because it
Wait.
probably went back in time.
I would like to know what video it was.
I would too, actually.
You know, someone did get a warrant for their arrest like a few years back from like an old Blockbuster late fee, and he actually did get like arrested or something like that for that. Can you believe that? Got prosecuted.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Anyway, Don, my question now that you're finished with this crazy, ridiculous list.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do on New Year's 1999 to prepare for Y2K?
Nothing. I just didn't think it was a big deal.
Went down
I
to
did.
the ATM.
Yeah, I literally ran to the ATM after going. Like, I honestly thought it was all a joke. I really did. I thought this is all bullshit, and was not worried at all. I was still a teenager, so what the fuck did I care?
Did anyone in the
Where were you
dais
guys?
think?
What did everybody do for New Year's Eve '99?
I don't think my parents did anything either, really, that I can remember. Mom, Dad, did you prepare anything for 1999?
Hello, Loki.
My friends and I locked ourselves in a basement
What?
and started a Monopoly game that we thought could last for years if we needed to stay down there.
That's
And
awesome.
it ended up lasting a few days. It was like 3 or 4 days long.
That's a terrible game to play
Kev, what'd you do?
during any type of situation.
You know, I think I may have been in church actually for the midnight service. I think that's where I was at.
Nice. So apparently I had the most fun out of all of us.
Well, what were you doing?
So 1999 New Year's Eve, my mom and I grew up listening to the Judds because of my mom. My mom was a very big Judds fan. And, famously in the early 90s, they had to split because Naomi Judd wanted to retire because she was dealing with hepatitis. And then Winona went out on her own with her solo career. And everybody was always wanting them to do a reunion. And finally, in 1999, they decided they were going to go ahead and do that and do a reunion concert in Phoenix on New Year's Eve 1999.
Oh, wow.
So my mom and I got tickets for the Judds reunion concert on New Year's Eve, and that's where we were. We had floor seats at the time. It was America West Arena. I don't know what it's called now, but yeah, and it was freaking amazing. It was one of the best concerts I've ever been to in my life. I think it was probably maybe the third or fourth period, but it was fantastic. And the thing that was cracking me up, I really remember laughing at this when we got to our seats because, it was New Year's Eve and it was Y2K and everything. They had left little baggies out on all of the seats for all the ticket holders. And inside the baggie was a bottle of water and a flashlight. And there was one other thing in there that was a little like Y2K prep type thing. I can't remember what for the life of me. But I just remember thinking that was so hilarious that oh, great, in case everything fails, we've all got our flashlights.
That's true. If everything goes out, you'll at least have your flashlights.
Yeah, we'll at least have our flashlights and bottles of water, and we can,
I'd have given you a bucket.
This is how we're going to kick it. We're
to piss some shit in.
With Naomi and Winona. And Ashley Judd was there, too. She was kind of emceeing the whole night. So, yeah.
That's very cool.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I was at
I'm very happy that I have that memory, especially now that.
Yeah, it is nice, especially since they don't obviously get together anymore.
Yeah, yeah. I am so they were planning another reunion tour when Naomi passed away, and Winona decided to honor her mom that she was going to still do the tour and she was just going to have people guest with her each night. But there was only 6 stops, and of course it was all in the Midwest. So she never came out here. I was really disappointed because if she had, I would have been there for sure.
I'm gonna call out Loki here. She says, "Hi, Kevin, Chris, and Bonnie." I guess maybe she forgot I was on today, possibly, or she doesn't like me. Either way, then don't comment. If you're not gonna say everybody's name, that's not nice, Loki. And then I'm going to go to my mom that says, "My friend had her mom cash in her bonds. She lost a heck of a lot of money." What?
That
really?
Hurts. That hurts.
Jesus.
Oh, man.
And Mr. Sean says, Y2K was an element, albeit minor, to the movie Office Space, which came out in, 1999. Yeah. That's true. And then Sammy says, "Oh, Blockbuster memories."
Oh,
yes.
And then...
I miss Blockbuster.
Yeah.
The first job I got fired from.
I don't miss it at all.
Are you serious?
It's terrible. It was terrible, guys. There's no good memories about an 11 a.m. return time.
Independent video stores were better anyway, and Hollywood video was better.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Was better.
Hollywood was the best
like
out of the chains.
I liked Family Video.
And I think there was Video Safari, and there was a few other smaller chains that still had that family element. Yeah. But I liked there was a grocery store in my hometown called Bag and Save, and they had the best rentals. And also Farmore was another place. It was a pharmacy that had rentals, and they were great too. And neither one were big chains; they were just small, places.
I liked Family Video because they had porn.
What?
And you could walk by it.
They had the adult only section. You had to go through a curtain to go into. Yeah,
it's true. Osiris, Big Sal, hey buddy, thanks for joining. Let's see.
It's funny because it was the first thing I did on my 18th birthday was go through that curtain.
Look what Sal does when he comes in. He says, "What up, Kevin, Dr. Turner, Bonnie, and Donnie?" Look at that. He mentions all 4 of us.
And
maybe she forgot your name. Maybe she forgot what your name was.
It's on the screen, Kevin. There is literally no excuse. It is on the screen.
Things happen.
On the
Things
screen.
happen.
Benefit of the doubt, man.
It's
That's right.
fine. It's fine. I don't care if you don't like me. It's fine. It's fine. Don't care. Whatever.
Jesus loves
Fine.
you, Donald. Just remember.
Enrique says a bucket does come in handy for pissing and shitting. Yes, it does, Enrique. It would have been. That's what I was saying. Like, what if all the power went down and then the water stopped and stuff? The toilets are going to overflow if you're stuck in a stadium or someplace, right? Like the doors auto locked or some shit, right, Bonnie? And then now you guys are reduced to pissing and shitting in hallways. And then now it's like, oh, don't go down that left hall. It's filled with piss and shit. You know? Or, oh no, this room's full of piss and shit. Somebody opened it and now there's piss and shit coming out. Whereas if we all had buckets, you would just fill the buckets and then you can orderly stack the buckets. You know, because I assume it'd come with the seal, you know, that you push the lid for the bucket. Not just like a pail, you know, like you take out
Like
to
a
the
Tupperware
park or
bucket?
something. Yeah, like a bucket. No, like an industrial bucket, you know, like that you get like 5 gallons of paste in or some shit, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you fill that with piss and shit, and then you seal it, and then you orderly stack it in a corner. That way your piss and shit buckets don't stink. I don't know why I'm thinking of this. I just
What
did.
happens if there's an earthquake?
Why you're pissing and shitting? Or after
No,
the
it
buckets are
knocks
stacked?
over your
Well, they're
over
sealed
a
tightly. I mean, I don't know how high you're going to go on these stacks, Bonnie. I was thinking 3 high. But I can now assume that you're thinking like
An
it's
earthquake would very,
20 or 30
knock
high
you right on over and
shit and
just-
piss buckets. Let's see. Sammy says, there was a Blockbuster in my neighborhood and we go every weekend. Sabrina says, gross. Yeah, I know. Sammy says, well, damn, Chris. Mr. Sean says, neighborhood video stores were the absolute best. Folks at Blockbuster didn't know anything about movies. And then Osiris says,
I
Kevin,
did.
stop
I
it,
did.
bro. LOL.
No, Odyssey Video, that was a good
Alright.
store out of North Hollywood, by the way, before they closed.
Well, they had porn too, Kevin. Is that why you think it's a great store?
No, they had some good horror movies and some good independent films there.
Let me finish my story from
Oh, yeah.
about Family Video real quick.
Okay.
All right, so
All right.
Family Video. It's actually relevant to our topic tonight. That's why I say it.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh man, I'll go we always like go to that. Always everyone's like, I want to see behind the curtain. I just want to go behind the curtain. Like I just want to go. I just want to be like I want to be one of those. I didn't realize how creepy it was at the time. I just wanted to go behind the curtain and see what was back there. So my goal on my 18th birthday was to go into the adults only section at Family Video. Come around June 19th, 1999. Guess who turned 18? And finally got to go to the adults only section at Family Video.
Now, when you got in there, did you immediately whip it out? Or did you rent the video first and then take it home?
I
and rip it
didn't
out?
whip it out. I literally just went back there. I was like, oh, okay. There's lots of naked people on like I wanted to see like what the porn.
It wasn't
looked like.
filled with nude people like renting videos
were-
like you thought,
were you-
right?
Were you
No,
impressed
no.
or unimpressed?
Because when I was younger, I thought the adult video section meant that they were naked people back there renting the films.
No,
I thought that
knew
was a
what it
cool
was.
idea. I was like, wow, you can go in there naked.
I was more interested
were
in
all
actually
so
what the packaging looked like for porn. I was a nerd.
And what was the packaging? What did it look like, sir?
What do you think it looked like?
Like a regular VHS tape?
So yeah, you know the part of the VHS you slide in, that's the legs. That's where the
Oh.
legs open up and you slide the VHS in.
Uh-huh.
And to get it to work,
Mhm.
sometimes you have to blow in it.
Like a Nintendo cartridge.
Sure.
Fascinating.
Nazi,
Bonnie,
Nazi
Yeah,
I'm
says
sure you have some.
Kevin's favorite were the horror films.
Yes, good horror films from the 70s, the 80s. Good stuff.
Yep.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I remember watching that for the first time.
He doesn't say it, does he?
No, it's okay. Moving
Who's
on.
next? Is it Bonnie or is it
Well, let me quickly go through these comments. Big Sal says, I've seen great international movies from Blockbuster. Sammy says, sure, Chris, the packaging. Hector says, anyone find love in the adult film section of video stores? Well, I mean, with your own hand, probably, Hector, I would imagine. A lot of people found that kind of love. And
You know what? That sounds like it would be a great Netflix series.
No, but seriously, it wasn't about the packaging. I didn't care about sex.
okay.
Love in the adult section of the
Okay.
video store.
Y2K is over. All right, Bonnie, what do you got for us about 1999 since we're on the subject?
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Since we are on the subject, 1999 was a fantabulous time for music. The 90s in general were great for music, but 99, there was something really special about 99 because I feel like it was kind of just firing on all cylinders. A lot of really great bands and artists debuted in 99. But one thing that it was known for specifically was the onslaught of the bubblegum pop princess divas. So
What?
in 99, we had the debuts of Britney Spears and
Oh,
Christina Aguilera and Jessica Simpson and many more all at the same time.
wait.
I mean,
do I have all them, Kevin?
Three of
I
them.
have a couple of them.
Simpson. I forgot about you. Never mentioned Jessica Simpson. I did
What
forget
happened to
about her,
Mandy Moore? Didn't
Yeah,
she like? Didn't she turn to? Or was that Jessica Bynes or Jessica Biel or whatever? Who's that one
Oh,
lady?
Amanda
that,
Bynes.
yeah,
Amanda
she
Bynes.
tattooed her
Amanda
face or
Bynes?
some shit. Yeah, she got dark, man.
Yeah, you're mixing some people up there.
Okay.
But no, Mandy Moore, she is not really focusing on music so much lately. She has had a couple of indie albums come out, but she's mostly known for being an actress nowadays.
Mhm.
Most recently, in the last handful of years, she was in This Is Us. That's probably her best known thing to date.
You love that
is,
show, by the
she
way.
she was on the show This Is Us. You guys know, very personal show to
Mandy.
me. I loved it so much. I connected
Angled.
with it on so many different levels and cried with it every single week for 6 years straight. Oh, it was beautiful. And now they have a rewatch podcast, and now I'm crying to that. But yeah, she's a really great actress. So that's what she's more known for now. Of course, Britney Spears. Everybody knows Miss Britney.
Mm-hmm.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah.
And Justin Timberlake did her dirty.
Apparently.
No, they were young. They were so young. They were babies. I mean, I think people need to cut him just a little bit.
No, he knew better. He was, even though he was young, he was still like 20 years old.
I'm saying, like, were they perfect? Absolutely not. Did he pull some dick moves? Sure, but I mean, which one of you did not?
Kevin,
do
I'm
bigot
sure
things like
there's
he
been
did at that
plenty
age?
of women that you knocked up and you were like, bitch, you need to get an abortion right now. I'm sure there's been plenty of women.
In your dreams, Donald. In your dreams. Now maybe you're deflecting. Maybe you made some young lady get an abortion.
I never have that I'm aware of.
That you're aware of.
Yeah, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know what happened after. Like, I mean, you can't say with 100% certainty.
I'm sure there are people that have, done it without telling,
Mhm.
Well, it's a very
Mhm.
private
I
matter.
guarantee
It's a
you.
very
there are
private
people
matter.
Yeah, yeah.
that have had
And then
the
people
secret
find out later and they're
not said
pissed.
anything to the impregnator.
Yeah.
So,
Yes,
Yeah, that's
it's a very
happened.
private matter.
So that's what I'm saying, Kevin. Could happen. Gosh.
Yeah.
Let's see.
anyways, yes, the Christina Britney rivalry was born then.
Christina was more talented. She still has a beautiful voice.
I agree. I do think Britney didn't quite get a fair enough shake. I mean, yeah, she has a good enough voice. I think Christina's voice was better. I think she was marketed a lot differently for sure, though.
Christina was trying to be kind of like a baby version of Mariah Carey in a way. The way she would try to stretch the notes out and everything.
I mean, she had the pipes to match it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely has the pipes to match it.
Was 99? Was that when Genie in a Bottle came out?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think so. Mm-hmm. That was a great song, though. That was
Yeah.
a very
It
catchy
was,
song.
Yeah.
Hit Me Baby One More Time was a great
So
song,
good.
too.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Oops, I Did It Again.
Baby
Yeah.
One More Time was actually originally intended for TLC.
That's right. That's right.
Really?
Yeah, it was pitched to TLC. It was supposed to be one of their songs, and they ended up not
They were-
liking it.
They were off
decided not to
chasing
record it.
waterfalls, huh?
Yes, they were.
Not chasing waterfalls. Not.
Oh, okay.
Don't go.
Also, they didn't want any scrubs either.
No.
No.
No, we
No.
do not want to. And actually, 99 is the year that song debuted.
Hey,
99
there
is
we
the year
go.
that Fan Mail came out. So there you go. Tying it all back.
Also a good song.
Great song.
Sammy says, I liked both, but I was more of a Britney fan.
Everybody's got one that they like more. I
Who do
think
you
Britney
think?
had
Who do you
better
think
videos.
succeeded the most out of all of them?
That's what-
Oof.
that's
Christina,
really hard to
probably.
pick.
I mean, Mandy went more back to acting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jessica went to fashion.
yeah.
I mean, Christina's doing the voice. I don't know if she's still doing it. But she did the voice for a long time.
Yeah.
Britney was in Vegas for a long
Yeah,
time.
voice.
It's really hard to say. Honestly, I think in terms of ongoing success in just the entertainment industry in general, I would say Mandy Moore's currently on top.
I would
She's
say that too.
She's
Yes.
the one who stayed the most relevant.
Mhm.
Britney is really only she's not really doing new music. She hasn't toured in forever. Free Britney and Instagram and all the other stuff, like that's all she's really like known for
Hmm.
now. Christina's not really doing a whole bunch, even though I do think she was the most talented out of all of them. But
Mm.
yeah, just in terms of who stayed the most relevant, I'm going with Mandy.
Yeah, Sammy, we
Yeah.
agree. Being a judge on a show isn't career success. Now,
Yeah.
Christina, I think, was the more talented of the bunch. She had better range vocally, and I think she was a good performer in general. I think Britney is out there more because she was the biggest train wreck, so to speak, which is a shame. But yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one. Chris, what do you have for 1999, good sir?
Well, I'll stick to music right now.
Okay.
Since Bonnie already brought it up, we're going to talk about a band that kind of was all over the place since the 80s. Did a lot of punk and stuff like that. And then in January of 1999, this album, so covered with only numbers. The title was Numbers. Came out. The album was 1459. And basically, it was a mocking joke on this band's supposed 15 minutes of fame when they had one kind of song that came out. Well, in January of 1999, this band released a new album, and this album changed its sound for the first time and made it more of a household name in the 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. This band was called Sugar Ray.
Oh.
And they hit the hit single
Fly.
Every Morning.
Oh.
No, Fly was the song that they were making fun of for having 15 minutes of fame.
No.
That was in 1997. That was their first song ever. What was that?
I don't know.
Oh, this weed is strong.
Ton of
I
goddamn.
just saw balloons fly.
That's great.
But yeah, so Fly was in 1997. They kind of moved out of like hard rock, punk rock
Mm-hmm.
into more of a poppy sounding sound, and that's what made them want to change their next album. So then they went. 1459 was most. It starts off like super hard, and then the rest of the songs are like pop songs. And there was some really popular songs from that. Like I said, I think Every Morning was the big one, and there was another one too. Shoot, what was it called?
When It's Over?
Yes, When It's
Yeah.
Over.
Yeah. I think that's the title.
It was something.
Yeah, those were on that album.
I like that one that was what was it? Bum bum ba dum ba da da dum ba dum bum bum ba dum ba da da dum. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was a Sugar Ray song. It was. I always like. I'm a weirdo with a lot of bands. I like the B-sides shit. You know, the stuff that doesn't really get a lot of radio play or ends up on a soundtrack somewhere. That's the stuff I dig on usually.
Well, my favorite Beatles song is and Octopus's Garden, which everyone hates. So I feel that.
Yeah. And I'm not a big Beatles fan in general. So
No,
there we go.
You're fired.
I like the
Oh
Monkees.
my gosh!
I like
How
the
dare you.
Monkees.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was never a huge Beatles fan either.
It's like
Oh
Star
my
Wars.
gosh.
It's like Star Wars and Star Trek. You
I
can
didn't-
like
I
both.
didn't
Like,
You
grow
can.
up with them. You know, my parents weren't Beatles fans, so I wasn't really exposed to them until much later in my life. They're great. I appreciate them now, but
So you prefer the Stones?
they were never my thing. Honestly, if we're going with our preference on like classics, I prefer doo-wop. I
Okay.
prefer Motown. You know,
Oh, okay. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Little Stax Records too, maybe.
Sammy, I didn't have any candy, but Chris had some.
I had some candy.
Yeah. And Sammy says Mark McGrath had to stare at my dad's butt during a VH1 storyteller's taping.
Awesome.
Yeah. And you cannot compare
Yes.
the Monkees to the Beatles? No, because the Monkees are better.
So I'm not saying that Sugar Ray was the best band of 1999. I'm just literally saying that it kind of was like an earworm to a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and you couldn't get it out of your head, and so it played. It came out at the beginning of the year. So it played that whole year nonstop.
By the way, Chris, Mr. Sean says Octopus's Garden is a great song. Essentially a
I
Ringo
agree.
George collaboration.
Yes, I love it. It's my favorite song.
I don't remember it, so I'll have to listen to it and then weigh in. I'll be right back. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do that. That'd be weird. And they were in the Scooby-Doo movie. That's true, they were, weren't they? Yeah.
Yeah,
They were. And he was a staple on VH1, I think, for a while. As like a video disc jockey or whatever.
and doesn't he host ET now or one of those other Access Hollywood?
Yeah, I
something?
believe so.
He hosts one of the entertainment shows.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he does. So he's done all right for himself. Him, personally, for his career. I'm going to take it a little bit out of the music realm and a little bit more into the comic book realm of 1999, particularly with DC Comics' big-time acquisition of one Jim Lee company, a.k.a. Wildstorm, was acquired by DC Comics. This is big news still to this day because of Jim Lee's his position within the DC universe as far as the comic book realm. I believe I want to say president of the company, if not.
Yeah, so something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a high position.
Yeah, he's in a big position there at DC Comics, and he worked hard to get there, for sure. Is DC in a good spot right now? No, not at all. So I don't know if that ended up being the best choice for them, putting Lee in charge. But that's a debate for another time. Wildstorm was acquired in 1999, and with it, lots of characters. We have Wildcats. Notably, we have the Authority, which also came out in 1999, if I recall. And also, another company came out in 1999, and that was what was the name of that one? It was America's Best Comics. And within America's Best Comics was actually a division that was created by Wildstorm, and they worked with Alan Moore to create series such as the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Alan Moore not wanting to ever work for DC again after the fiasco that happened between him and DC with Swamp Thing and with what am I thinking? Why am I blanking? Dr. Manhattan, the series, The Watchmen. Jesus.
Watchmen.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for your help. So we had the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen was created in 1999 by Alan Moore and was then thrown over into DC Comics realm because then DC then owned Wildstorm. So it was one of those like, well, fuck. because he was contractually obligated to do what he said he was going to do under the umbrella of Wildstorm through the I think it was America's Best Comics, and then having been purchased by DC, had to be ported over into the DC realm. So he had to tuck his chin and do a little due diligence, so to speak, and just do his job. The plot of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, probably their most successful currently, especially if you count the 2003, I believe, film. That was Sean Connery's last film ever. What a hit that was. 1898, Mina Murray is recruited by Campion Bond, I believe was his name, on behalf of the British intelligence, and asked to assemble a league of other extraordinary individuals to protect the interests of the Empire. So they got together Captain Nemo, Alan Quatermain, Dr. Jekyll, and Holly Griffin, the Invisible Man, to help stop a gang war between Fu Manchu and Professor Moriarty, the nemesis of Sherlock Holmes. Kind of an interesting idea. Following that storyline, they join in and take part in the events of H.G. Wells' The War of the Worlds. And then eventually a few of the characters, Mina Murray and Alan Quatermain, achieve immortality, and then our next scene in 1958 in another adventure. So the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen has been going on from like 99 to 2019. So about 20 years we saw League of Extraordinary Gentlemen products, if not by Alan Moore himself, by other people within that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen universe. So it was an interesting idea for sure. So interesting that it only took 4 years for them to put that into a film, which they probably should have taken 20 years to do. Let's be real, because that movie was a turd, but it was done for a reason. And that reason is for, I guess, a learning experience. I'm not sure. But
well, the director made Blade the year before. Directed Blade the year before. Sorry, excuse me, a few years before that. So
yeah, you would think. You would think that. Yeah, I guess. But directing and screenwriting are two very different things. Mm-hmm. Hector says Donald is so cool. He likes the Yoko Ono Beatles tracks. I don't think I've ever heard them, to be honest, Hector. Are they any good? I don't know. Mr. Son says Garden is on Abbey Road. I actually sang part of it at a play I was in. Reza says, I just sold one of those. Probably, I think he's talking about a League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. And,
that's right.
And the four of you look like the League of Very Ordinary Gentlemen. Well, I mean, Bonnie's a chick, so I don't know if she would qualify.
A gentlewoman.
Right.
Gentlewoman.
Yeah.
Gentlewoman.
And Mr. Sean says, the Gentleman movie is not very good. Great idea, ruined by bad execution. But they didn't base it on the comics. Well, I mean, yeah, they did. I mean, the general idea of it, they based on the comic books. But they didn't tell the same story, in other words, I think is what we're both saying. But ABC, America's Best Comics, Wildstorm, DC, yeah. They had Tom Strong's Terrific Tales and a few other things. Top 10, which created a character called Smacks. And if you haven't read Smacks' solo series, it came out, I think it was like a 4 or 5 part series. It's in trade paperback and in trade form, and I think in hardback form that you can get it in. It's super cheap. You can usually find it at a local bookstore or most comic book conventions. People will have a copy of it lying around somewhere, and they'll give you like for $5. It's super cheap, but it's great. It's a really great read. So if you get a chance to read Smacks for Top 10, I highly recommend it. I think it's a great, great read. Probably the best of the ABC universe, and that's saying something. Sammy follows it up with Bonnie is a Lady. Alex says, I like that movie. I think I'm the only person who did. LOL. I saw it twice in theaters. Jesus. And Reza says, I'm with Alex. That movie is great. Ah, okay.
It's a real chicken and egg situation. What came first? Sean Connery's choice to retire or the movie?
Boy, that is a tough one.
Yeah.
All right, so 99,
was
the
it
year
movie?
Of the Wildstorm acquisition. Kevin, what do you have next, sir? Good sir,
Oh,
Kevin.
going back to music briefly, something that changed the game forever. Something that certainly Apple took advantage of, I guess, in a legal way and using the power of being Apple. The company that did it before they did. A peer-to-peer sharing application called Napster.
Oh man, I love Napster. If you watch what's
Firewire.
what's that movie? The one about Facebook.
The Social Network.
Yeah, if you
Social
watch the
Network.
Social Network,
Yeah.
you get
Sean Parker.
a
Sean
lot of
Parker, one the
inside
founders.
information about Napster that you didn't know before, which is kind of fascinating.
Yep, one of the founders, Sean Parker, was indeed one of the people that did get some shares in Facebook before it took off. And yes, him and his buddy Sean Fanning, college buddy Sean Fanning, developed the program to start Napster. And yeah, it was a game changer. Now, I couldn't afford a computer back then on my college campus, so some of my neighbors down the hall, they had computers and they had these Napster. There's downloading files left and right, all these music files. I didn't know you could even do that. I was just amazed. And it was ridiculous.
I never used Napster, but what I used when I first started downloading music, exactly about the same time, was I was just using FTP, which
Oh,
is
yeah.
literally you're just connecting directly to somebody else's server and sharing your own.
Mhm.
Also, it was I think it was Qt FTP was the one that I was using, but just open file sharing, not even through a program like Napster. But oh my god, I don't want to think about how many viruses I riddled my family computer with. Probably a million.
One thing I
LimeWire
do-
and Kazam were two others. I remember
Kazaa.
that. I remember
Kazaa
LiveWire. I
was
don't.
the ones I did start using.
It's called what? Kazaa?
Kazaa.
Oh,
Kazaa.
Because I used
Kazaa.
all of these.
Yeah.
I used all of
Yeah,
these.
Kazaa.
I don't think I used Kazaa.
I used all of them.
I did start using Kazaa towards like the end of the whole downloading.
Little downloading thing.
Livewire I used a lot.
Metallica, I remember, was a major factor in helping to shut down Napster. 'Cause I remember
Yes.
Lars was
Very
pissed.
upset.
He was pissed. I remember
Yeah.
he would be on,
Mhm.
The guy that
he,
after their performances to throw out copies of their CD was upset that people were pirating music.
well, the music executives, I remember I guess they wanted to use him as, hey, you see this artist here, he's upset, you're stealing music.
Mhm.
So yeah, so he was there at the courthouses or whatever the case may be. He made the case to shut down Napster, and of course, within 3 years,
Hector
did.
says Metallica has reported this podcast.
I'm sure they have. Lars,
Suck it.
it's all good.
We love you, Lars. We do.
I don't like Metallica. Never have. There we go.
There you.
Now we're shut down for sure.
Did you prefer Guns and
I'm
Roses or
not shut
something?
you down, man.
No. I mean, I like Guns N' Roses. They were okay. I was more of a
Boy-
Def Leppard guy.
Poison,
No, Def Leppard I liked a lot.
I was Van
If we're
Halen
talking
here.
that type.
White Snake.
But Van Halen was great, yeah.
Yeah.
And, Van Halen was great. And the Rolling Stones was always relevant for me. I mean, I was always a big Rolling Stones guy. Loved them. Loved the Rolling Stones. Still do. Love to see them in concert before they go away for good. Which is going to happen soon, guys. It has to, right?
At some point,
I mean, it
I
has
mean, they're
to.
getting up there.
Yeah.
They're
like 80 something years old.
I
of
just saw
course.
Colin Hayes, who was Men at Work, the lead singer. And the guy looks like he's 90 years old. I was like, what the shit? You know what I mean? Like, how old am I? And then I looked in the mirror and I went, oh, my life. You know? Yeah, I saw all the grays and shit. It was scary. Yeah, I remember when Napster was on its way out and there was tricky ways to still download music. People were posting stuff, but they were misspelling it. And I think the last song I got, it was a Green Day song. And it was from one of the newer albums that had just come out from Green Day. And I remember misspelling it in there, one of the songs. And it popped up and I was like, yeah, fuck you, Napster, I got you. And I downloaded the song and that was like the last one before it completely just went. And I was like, no, what? Sometimes, when you're younger and you don't realize, you think that like this stuff, no one can shut you down. No one can change this. And then it gets changed just like that. It's like everybody thought, how's Netflix gonna get it to where we can't share? How's that gonna work? That's stupid. Life found a way, you know? Like, Jeff Goldblum stepped in and was like, I'll fix this shit. And he did. And now you can't share your password with anybody. Anybody. They'll shut you down. Or they'll be like, $9 for another person to be added. A month? No, thank you. I don't like that guy that much.
Cool.
All right, Bonnie, what do you got?
Well, while we're still on the subject of music and we have brought up this group, I'm going to talk about one of my other favorite albums of '99, which I think was a little ahead of its time. But we're talking Metallica, S&M, the live album that they did with the San Francisco Orchestra.
Oh, God. It is
Fantastic. Great album.
Jesus Christ.
Loved it. Honestly, like nothing like that had ever really been done before, especially with a hard rock band where they're, you know,
True.
with these, you know, very, very elite, you know, symphony orchestras. And I think it really, as much as people hate when hard rock groups or whatever, you know, sell out or when they get more popular, whatever, honestly, it did broaden their fan base because
You're right.
people that appreciate, you know, orchestral music and the symphony and all that, it really made them kind of like, you know, take another look at hard rock music and metal and whatnot. And I think it gave people that don't normally care for that kind of music a bit of a different take on it. You know, it made it a little bit more acceptable.
You think Nirvana would have done something similar at Kurt Cobain lived if they would have gotten an offer?
Oh, absolutely. They totally would have done that if Kurt was still around. I mean, they did, what was it? Unplugged, VH1 Unplugged. And I mean, granted, you know, going acoustic isn't the same thing as, you know, doing a full, you know, symphony orchestra backing you, but I can totally see that being something that Kurt Cobain would have done because he was an artist like that, you know. I think he would have appreciated it for sure.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That was definitely one of my favorite albums of '99, and it still holds up today.
I don't think Kurt Cobain would have gone that way, but that's just my thought on it. Agree to disagree there.
I don't doubt he would have.
Reza says they call me Bootleg McGillicuddy. And Bootleg McGillicuddy it is. Hector says, yes, the orchestra album was awesome. Elton John has praised their song composition too. And how did Lars become like the voice of the band?
Yeah, that is
He's
strange.
just loud.
Yeah.
It is strange.
I guess the
I
squeakiest
think
wheel
because
gets
Lars
the
is
grease.
just loud.
He just looks like an asshole. Look at his face.
Did you see the documentary Some Kind of Monster when
Oh, we had
the
the
Dark
arc
Side?
light. We had the arc light. I remember that.
Yeah. Did you actually watch it? Because
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
that was a great doc. But I mean, there was, you know, they showed the behind the scenes moments where, you know, they're fighting amongst each other, and like Lars is literally up in James's face, 2 inches away, screaming "fuck you." I mean,
Yeah, that sounds right.
yeah.
They weren't,
I don't think anybody was surprised there, but it's just like
they're not happy with each other for sure.
no.
That's a band
they're-
that they were not happy with each other for a long time, but they still managed to keep it together well enough to be able to still perform, and they still
Yeah.
do. You know,
Yeah.
they still do.
And they put out some great music together, despite the fact that they do not always care for
Get
one
along.
another personally.
I think I could agree with that, Reza. I'm not going to say that one out loud, but I think I could agree with that. All right, Chris, what's yours?
I was just thinking about. I've been reflecting on 1999. It was a big year for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I graduated
Mm-hmm.
high school. I turned 18. I became a man. My dad offered me my first beer that I declined.
Oh.
I got to move out of Michigan. That was amazing. I flew my first airplane in 1999.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh.
Mhm.
Okay, buddy.
That's big.
Northwest Airlines.
I don't remember what it was. Southwest, I think.
Oh, you flew on Your first.
I flew on my first airplane.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, you didn't fly it.
But
Okay, got it.
it was also there was a book series that came out that year that I was super excited about, but didn't end up reading for like 6 years later.
Hmm.
And that was an English book series that was probably one of the biggest book series besides Lord of the Rings to come out. I mean, it's out of like coming into America, like, and that would be Harry Potter series, the first Chamber of Secrets book.
Philosopher's Stone.
It was Philosopher's Stone, the first one, yes.
Yeah.
Um,
AKA the Sorcerer's Stone.
yes.
In America.
As
And
they
in
change.
America. In America.
Yes, came out in America. America.
Because they thought Americans would be too dumb to know what a philosopher is.
Yep. Pretty much. Weird, right?
What is a philosopher, Bonnie?
Somebody who thinks deep philosophical thoughts.
Using a term that is part of the word itself as the explanation does not work well with explanations, Bonnie. And I already say that because I have a teacher that would give me shit for that every time I did it. And I did it a lot, let me tell you. So,
You know, some people do say that Harry Potter is just lazy Star Wars with wizards.
well, I guess it could be lazy Star Wars. Lazy Wizard Star Wars is what they should have made it. Titled it,
I mean,
right?
you know, it is all about the hero's journey, the chosen one. So, in a way, I can see the correlation there.
Yeah, I think it takes parts, but there's a lot of things that take parts from a lot of things. Star Wars isn't an original by far.
Oh, it borrowed from Dune. It borrowed from Flash Gordon. Yeah, it borrowed from different things for sure.
Mm-hmm. Hector says the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen fought a Harry Potter Antichrist version of the character. Interesting. Also, in I want to say Vertigo Comics, they actually did create a boy wizard that was their version of Harry Potter. I can't remember his name, but they did create a Harry Potter in Vertigo as well. William Bonilla, good to see you, buddy.
What?
Thanks for popping
Hey.
in. That's been a minute.
Heard from
Wow.
this guy in a
Long time
while.
no see.
I know, right? He's in here just laughing, which is fine. Sammy says, shut your mouth. Harry Potter is amazing. Shun the non-believers. Oh, she's mad at you, Kevin. Black Crown says,
I'm just going by what the commenter said. I was like, that's been said. That's all. That's been said.
Black Crown says, can we talk about the Phantom Menace? I was so hyped for the new Star Wars.
We do have a photo of it.
Alex says, I don't really like Harry Potter. It's okay. I think it ended badly.
I agree.
There were a
Those
lot
some
of people
fighting
I
words.
remember
She
that
really
were
messed up.
upset that he didn't die.
Well, it should.
That was a big thing in the fandom. I remember that Harry should have died for real.
I was more upset the fact that Harry and Ron didn't hook up at the end.
Oh,
I have also heard that argument.
interesting.
I've heard the argument that people were upset that Harry and Draco didn't hook up.
Yeah, that would have
Really?
been
There was
that would have been like a
person
hate fuck, though, right? Like,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah.
So
I've been like,
yeah, I like
I
Harry.
hate you. I hate you
I
more.
like
Potter.
the Harry Potter books. I like the movies more. But there's another series by it's like young boy wizard that I like more called Septimus Heat. And I like that a little more. It's a little more kiddie. It's more fun for me. I don't know. I think sometimes Harry Potter gets too dark.
Yeah, that's true. It can
It's
for
very
kids, I
dark.
would imagine.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention one more thing on mine, and then I'm going to mention something else very quickly, and then I'm going to have everybody else mention something quickly, and then we're going to bow out. So, 1999 became the year of one of the best sequels ever to grace the silver screen. We're talking Austin Powers and the Spy Who Shagged Me. My God, what a great film.
That was a
It-
fun one.
Yeah, baby.
Cemented
Yeah.
Austin Powers as a powerhouse in film history.
And then the third one came out.
And the
I
third
love
one.
Mini Me. Love Mini Me.
Yeah, Mini Me was a great addition.
Fat Bastard, Mini Me, two great additions to the family in the Austin
I want
Powers
you to
universe.
be a
Was
dick.
I Ate a Baby the second one?
Yep,
Yeah.
it certainly was.
In my belly.
I want my baby back, baby back, baby back. Chili's baby back ribs. Yes, yes, we all know that song because of this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah,
Get in my belly is my trigger sentence for Scottish accent.
yeah, get in my belly. Yeah, yeah,
Get in my belly.
yeah. It really is.
And
Mike Myers was firing firing on all cylinders on this. It actually was going up against, and I believe this was the very same year, Big Daddy came out.
Yes, it was.
Austin
I think
Powers
you're
and the
right, yeah.
Spy Who Shagged Me came out first, if I recall. And then Big Daddy came out a few months after. And Austin was still making money, but Big Daddy then was the big one. And so Mike Myers and Adam Sandler were placing fun little bets between each other which film would make more money. And I find that great, you know, to be so successful that you can just flaunt that publicly and say, I bet my film makes more money than yours. Oh, it's hilarious, these guys.
man, 1999 was just packed with great comedies. It was a
Mm.
Really
great
was.
comedy year.
And I was just talking to Rob, Chicago Rob, about this. About we were discussing how comedy's dead, like in film. It's so rare to get a good comedy anymore. The one that came out last year with what's her name, the girl that played Mystique,
Jennifer Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, I
no
like
hard
that one.
feelings.
I like that one. I like that one.
Oh.
That was fun.
That
was fun.
was a great
That was a fun
comedy.
one.
That was a great, fun, ridiculous comedy that didn't pull
Because they weren't playing it
punches.
safe. Because they
That
weren't
did
playing
not
it safe.
play it safe. That just was ridiculous and had fun for the pure point of being ridiculous and having fun. And I miss stuff like that so much.
Yeah, you gotta watch the thousands of beavers that just came out.
Thousands of Beavers.
Yeah, it's like an indie film. It's ridiculous. It's about these guys in the woods and they have to kill like all these different animals to survive and stuff. But they're people dressed in like hot furry costumes and playing these animals.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it's black and white and it's shot like old timey, like fast forward. It's really fun.
All right.
A
Thousands
lot of
Beavers.
fun.
That sounds ridiculous, but I'm down.
Yes.
I'll watch it. Let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. Rest in peace, Vern Troyer, says Kevin. Yes, of course. They are good, but not as good as Fight Club, says Sean McGee. Well, it's not about, we're not always about, like, this one's better. Like, sometimes both things can be amazing. I love Austin Powers and The Spy Who Shagged Me, and I love Fight Club. I think both of those films are fantastic, and I don't want to choose one over the other. Don't make me do that. Don't make me do that.
Absolutely.
Mr. Sean says, I found Shagged a disappointment. Parts of it were okay, but there wasn't as much shagging as I would like. If I'm going into a movie that says that they're shagging, I expect there to be lots of shagging. And when I'm in the mood and I go to a movie to see shagging and there's not any shagging, I'm very disappointed in the lack of shagging. I wrote this same letter to the studios, to New Line Studios, and they never responded, and I'm very upset about that still to this day. Not even half of that was what he said, but I just assumed he was going to say the rest and then just stop typing. That's my thought process on it. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Sean, but I feel like you were hoping for more shagging. Goldmember made up some ground. The first one was clearly the best. Goldmember was the weakest, in my
Yes.
humble
Yeah,
opinion.
it's
Not a
one.
fan of Goldmember.
In the opinion of 99% of American public, for sure, probably the weakest. And we also got what's her name as the sexy vixen of the show. It was
Cleopatra. Like Cleopatra.
Cleopatra.
Foxy
Beyonce.
Cleopatra. Yeah, it was
Foxy
Beyonce.
Cleopatra.
Yeah. So
But
Beyonce,
cannot act.
she wasn't great, but I mean that was
She
the least of
can't
our
act.
worries. Least of our worries in that film.
The script.
Script, yeah. Alex says Fight Club is so good, people are still talking about it, and it's more relevant now than when it came out. William says, damn, one of my favorite films. Watch those films when Universal City had the Cineplex Odeon. Oh, shit. Wow, that's been a long time ago. Reza says, you know what's a great comedy? Harlem Nights. No,
That's
Reza.
right. Thank you. Thank you.
No, Reza, and I know
Thank
why
you.
you said that.
Donald, real quick, I want to fact check myself.
Uh-oh.
The movie's hundreds of beavers, not thousands.
Okay, hundreds of
Okay.
beavers. Okay, thank God.
Yes, I'm gonna go check it
I
out.
was worried about the
Hilarious.
amount of beavers. And now I'm a little
You
less
should.
worried.
Now we've cleared that
Should
up.
be.
Thankfully.
God.
Sweet and Low Down was a good 1990 comedy. Sweet and Low Down. What was that one? I know the name, but I don't remember who was in it. Comedy is dead because everyone in Hollywood is way too uptight now. Austin Powers would never be made today. You're right, Alex.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm hoping, cross our fingers, there's rumblings of a fourth. And I know we don't need it, but I feel like we could need it. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
feel
you
like
use it.
if it's done right, it could be the film we didn't know we needed.
Yeah.
In other
Well, I'm
words.
hoping. I'm hoping that's
confirmed that we're getting a new Spaceballs.
Yes. Yes.
Another one?
Spaceballs,
Yes.
Like,
Oh,
for sure
two-
happening?
Yeah, we
two.
are getting that.
Spaceballs too. It's Josh Gad, I think, is directing it.
Oh, God.
Why
Or
on
writing
earth,
it or something.
Sean McGinn, would you compare Fight Club to Magnolia and American Beauty? I don't think any of those need to be really compared.
Yeah, I wouldn't put them against each other.
No, they're all good in their own way.
Yeah. I mean, the only two to me that make sense is maybe Fight Club and American Beauty, but
Yeah.
even still, they're not.
I mean,
quite-
I liked them all. I enjoyed all of them. I
Yeah,
enjoyed
they're all
Magnolia
good.
and American Beauty, yeah.
They're all
Um,
good.
I love both of
It's
them.
been a
Yeah.
hot minute since I've seen Magnolia.
Yeah.
I really don't remember much of it.
Oh, the frogs. I remember that.
Yeah, the frogs. Yeah.
Hector Hernandez says, don't show that guy Reservoir Dogs. 0 dogs in that movie. Nice, dude. Also great movie. Reza, nice Hector. Sean McGinn, The Limey is another great film from 1999. Terrence Stamp was actually pretty fantastic in that film. I do remember that. The film itself is okay. It doesn't break any barriers or any new ground, but Terrence Stamp is just such a good actor in that film that it makes you love that film. It's like, what was it? The Michael Caine one that came out not long ago, the Brown, something Brown, Mr. Brown, something like that. It was like, came out around the time or similar to around the time of Taken. Like we were doing that where the old guy getting revenge was like coming back around. That was like a thing.
Taking care of business. Taking care of
Yeah,
business.
yeah. So the Michael Caine one was actually really good too. There's been a lot of those really good ones. Bob Odenkirk just had one that was Nobody. Wasn't
Oh,
perfect,
that was good.
but it was
That
fun.
good.
It was
I
a good
like
movie.
I did.
There's another
I
one
did
coming
enjoy
out.
it.
And Christopher Lloyd was great in it too.
Sweet
Yeah,
and Low Down
there's
was
a
with Sean
sequel,
Penn.
apparently.
Oh, okay. I don't know that I've ever seen that. Me and Kevin's buddy Dan is co-writing the Spaceballs sequel with Josh Gad. Oh, okay, cool. Good luck. Josh Gad, huh? Oh, Josh Gad wrote a comic book that you probably should read then before you decide on that, Reza.
Which one was it?
The Writer, believe is what it was called. I reviewed it last week, Kevin. Thank you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Thanks for remembering.
Did you do the review of Josh Gad?
Thanks, Kevin.
That's right. I remember now.
Sean says, my point was Fight Club is the best 1999 film.
No.
Okay.
I just
No,
disagree
I mean,
with that.
I mean,
well, you could disagree, but
I
that's
get
his
that that's
choice,
true.
and that's fine. You know, Sean thinks that's the best. I can't argue with him because I think it's a great film.
Truths for
Yeah.
each of us.
Absolutely. And then Mr. Sean's chiming in with Sean. Alex says, it's so crazy to think about how so many good movies used to come out back in the day. LOL, we were spoiled. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Caine.
You know what?
Caine
It's
is a
because
great
they thought
actor.
the world was
Yes.
ending because of Y2K, so they had to rush to get all
They had to rush
good
all the
shit.
great films out, yeah. Sean says, Jesus' Son is another great 1999 film. Jack Black's supporting role. Billy Crudup and Samantha Mortensen. I've never seen that.
Either.
Huh. Jesus' Son. Okay. I'll have to check that one out. To clarify, Dan is doing most of the writing. LOL. Josh is mostly just there. Oh, well, that's good. That's good, Reza. That's kind of what you want in that situation then. You're in the perfect storm of situations. All right, so I mentioned Austin Powers and the Spy Who Shagged Me and how fun it was. Really quickly, 1999 showed us that Batman could go beyond with Batman Beyond. It showed us that an older Bruce Wayne could exist and could still be relevant regardless of if he was in the suit or not. Brian Azzarello showed us what 100 bullets could do in the case of literally 100 bullets in a wonderful multi-layered anthology series by Vertigo Comics, which would put him on the printed page on the map for future comic book writing. He wrote some big books along the way as well. And that's probably going to do me in for my selections. Kevin, do you have anything that you want to mention quickly?
Yes, two quick ones. One, The Phantom Menace, as someone brought it up. Star Wars The Phantom Menace came out. The first prequel. A lot of people were excited. They were lined up, long lines, getting crazy. And unfortunately, with the exception of a few parts of that movie, it was a bummer.
This scene that you're showing right here, the best.
Yeah. Yes, the Duel of the Fates is awesome. Darth Maul with a double-sided lightsaber taking care of business. But beyond that and a few other scenes, it's just it left a lot left to be desired, unfortunately. And it was the
I
final
feel like
time we
there's
saw
a new
Yoda.
appreciation for it now, though. I think people are rediscovering it and realizing that it's not quite as bad as we all remembered, although I think everybody is in agreement that Jar Jar is the worst part of it.
Night, Mom. Love you too. Get some rest. Good
Yes,
night, Dad.
Unfortunately.
Reza, Batman Beyond Return of the Joker was a great movie. Definitely. In that plot twist, man. Ooh. If you don't know it, watch it, baby.
PlayStation 1. That's the other one. PlayStation 1. The PS1.
Oh, that's a big one, dude. You should have led with that. What's wrong with you?
I know. But the
Shit the
PlayStation
bed.
1 was a big
Sal's
deal.
pissed right now.
Nintendo was running things for about a decade, but when that first PlayStation came out, it was a game changer. Games were on CD-ROMs, essentially. You actually got to be able to play CDs on the PlayStation 1 as well. And the games were amazing. The quality, the graphics, it was unbelievable. You had games like Silent Hill that came out in 1999. You had one of the early iterations of Grand Theft Auto that came out on the PlayStation 1 in 1999. And by the way, Grand Theft Auto, as we know, that became an addicting game.
Mm-hmm.
You get to commit crimes in the virtual world and get away with it.
Yeah, that was great. That was really great. Absolutely. 100%, dude. 100%. All right, Bonnie, real quick, anything you want to mention?
Yeah, I'm flipping back over to the movie side, and I'm gonna talk about Dogma. One of my favorites of '99. Fourth movie from writer-director Kevin Smith. And yeah, I'm a huge Kevin Smith fan. Everybody that knows me knows this. And yeah, this is one of my favorites of his. It's a fun one.
Then you got to watch that 90s show then, yeah?
Yeah, I need to watch the new episodes.
Yeah, big part for him.
Yeah, I know. He's been hyping it up big time. But yeah, it's a great fun movie about a couple of rebels, angels and prophets trying to find God, who's been basically held captive inside of a human body by fallen angels of the devil, and it's a good, fun little romp. Gotta love it.
My mom says Misa like Jar Jar. LOL.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dogma too. The shit demon, I think is what it was, right? The shit demon.
Oh yeah, the Golgothan.
God. George Carlin being in it.
George Carlin as
What a
a
hoot.
cardinal.
Yeah. And this was
it gave us the Buddy Christ.
yes, Buddy Christ, which is great. And what a cast, man! What a cast.
Yeah, such an amazing cast. It's so great.
We had Carrie Fisher in here, right? Didn't we have Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, wait. No, she wasn't in. No.
She wasn't in this one?
She was in Jane Silent Bob Strike Back.
Oh, okay. All right. I knew we had Carrie Fisher in one of them with Jane Silent Bob.
Yeah,
okay.
It wasn't until that one.
Okay.
And Mark Hamill was in Mallrats, right?
No, he was in Jane Silent Bob.
Stan Lee was in Mallrats.
Yeah. Stan Lee was in
sorry.
Mallrats.
I said that's right. That's right.
Yeah, Stan Lee was in Mallrats, and then Mark Hamill was in Jane Silent Bob
He was
Strike Back.
Cockknocker.
Cockknocker, yeah.
All right. Anything else, Bonnie?
That's gonna do. Oh, really quickly, I'm also
I
gonna
think we
talk
lost
about
Chris.
Office Space.
I think we lost Chris, everybody.
Oh no.
Yikes.
Okay. That's okay.
He'll be
Office Space. We'll end on Office Space
Yeah.
then.
back. Office Space really quickly. But yeah, fantastic movie. I mean, everybody who's worked any type of office job
Andy's
in
back.
America, or just any job in general, period. I mean, there's
Mhm.
so many relatable things about this movie. It doesn't even have to be an office job in corporate America, but God, there's just so many relatable things about just working for the man that everybody relates to, and it's so great.
Do you work for the man, Bonnie?
I mean, I do work in corporate America, so yeah, I'm working for the man. But
Oh,
And then we have Ron Livingston and Loudermilk, which Chris turned me on to, and it's a Farley production. Fun 3-season show that sadly never got a 4th, but Ron Livingston in this and Office Space was fantastic. So
Yes, he was.
well deserved for his role in this and for the series Loudermilk, which he's also great in.
New guy.
Chris, do you have any? Yes, the new guy's my favorite. Holy shit. Chris, do you have anything else you want to mention right before we go?
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to talk about a movie, too. This is a movie kind of changed my life, and it's kind of changed the trajectory of the show and made the show more popular, or not more popular, but really defined their groove, and that would be South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut.
oh yeah.
I
that
saw
was
the
so
first movie I saw in the movie theater more than twice. I think I saw it 7 days in a row.
Jesus. Okay.
I love that movie so
that's
much.
dedication.
Big fan right there.
And in fact, I wasn't old enough to see it at the time when it came out, and that's so I was sneaking in. That was fun. Because I think I was 18 at the time. So yeah, Bigger, Longer, Uncut. You know, it's never seen it. It's South Park but longer, but had really good music to it, good storyline, super known in pop culture now with the Blame Canada and
Oh yeah, I sing the Blame Canada song all the time.
yeah.
I love the
Hey,
Canadian
Tom.
head. You are racist. You are racist.
You know, by the way, Canadians, happy Canada Day. I mean, it's not Canada Day here anymore, but it was Canada Day, so
It's
God
Yay.
bless
Canada
America.
Day here for a couple
that,
more hours.
sorry. Oh, Canada, my home and
I'm
native
sorry.
land. I mean,
There you go.
yes.
There you go. There you go. So South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, where Saddam and Satan finalize their relationship in hell.
Yep.
And it's beautiful. All right, guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. That's
And
pretty...
and Adolf Hitler sticks a pineapple up his ass.
I think that's actually in Little Nicky.
No, somebody should stuff some pineapple up someone's ass in South Park too.
I don't know. I don't know if Little Nicky's that role in that one. Maybe there's. I'm sure there's more Hitler ass play to be had. And on that note, we're gonna end it out. I want to thank you all in the chats. Really quickly, I'm going to mention a few things. Alex says PS1 came out in '95, I think. Sean McGee says also rest in peace, Donald Sutherland. Yes, rest in peace. Mr. Sean says no, Phantom Menace is worse than we all remember. Reza says Tony Hawk's Pro Skater set the PS1 on the map. Never played that one. Black Crown says I love the Phantom Menace and I still do. It's a great movie and I will die on this hill. Alex Bankita says Dreamcast came out in '99 in the States. I think you got them mixed up, Kevin. That's a great system,
No.
though.
No, I'm just talking about it in its peak. That's all. PS1
Okay.
was just at its peak.
Gotcha. That makes sense then. And then Alex says fair point. I guess you corrected him in the chat. Sean McGee says also Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake is great for Donald Sutherland. The Dirty Dozen.
Oh yeah. I love
MASH.
that movie.
Clute. Start the Revolution Without Me. And
I
Nezzy says
think
Office
it's
Space is awesome. Office Space was '99 too, says Alex. Geez, what a year. That's right, crazy. Mr. Son says just make sure you have the right color cover to your TPS report. Yes, you need that. And then Alex says, yes, it was Little
Why
Nicky.
does it say Paper Jam when there is no Paper Jam?
Yep, every time. When they go out and they're like busting up on that thing with the bats
yeah.
and shit's great.
I'll be like maybe about 10 years ago or so, there was a printer that we had at my office that was always doing that. Always.
Yes.
And yeah, I wanted to take a baseball bat to that thing so hard. Like,
I am going to say that, Janet. Rest in peace to Martin Mull as well. Clue is in my top 5 favorite films of all time. And
yes, as it should be.
Is one of my top comedies. I love that film. In fact, I earlier this year, probably back in January or February, had already purchased tickets at the Almerson Theater for Clue, the live theater performance, the production that's going to be taking place at the Almerson Theater. So I will be seeing that in late July, late this month, actually, since it is July. As of today, it looks like, geez. So I'm excited. Less than 30 days out, I'll get to see Clue in the theater at the Almerson, which is probably my favorite theater in Los Angeles, I will say. I love that theater. Really quickly, I want to say thank you to everybody that popped in. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate you. Whether you appreciate me or not, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being on. So thank you for being a part of our chat, of being a part of our show. It's really an honor to be on here and to talk with all of you and chat with all of you. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate the guests, people like Bonnie that pop in all the time with lots of knowledge to drop, Janet, Sammy, Sal, etc., that come on and are on the show. That being said, if you would like to be a live guest on the show, like Bonnie is right now, you are more than welcome to just reach out to us and we can get you on. Not a problem at all. We'd be happy to do it. You just have to be available at the times you're available now. So, we're more than happy to do that, to entertain that. So please reach out to us about that.
Plus, Donald will pay you $500 through PayPal or Zelle.
Yes, as soon as Kevin transfers the money to me, I can do that for you guys. Not a problem. Happy to do it. So thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. Have a wonderful evening. Take care of yourselves and each other. And have a great night. And perhaps if you're thirsty, maybe you will want to
have a most futuristic, delicious, and always forward-thinking Rumble Pop.